The state of being different from one another is called diversity. Diversity can be in all fields of life. In your class, you will find children who speak different languages, celebrate different festivals, like to play different games, and study different subjects. When you go to a shop to buy a pen, you will find different varieties of it. You can choose the one that suits your requirement. Diversity is present in every field of life. It adds variety and makes our life more interesting. Diversity in India. India is a country of diversities. Diversity has been one of our most remarkable features. People belonging to different religions and speaking different languages live in India. However, in spite of this diversity, a basic unity binds us together. This lends us our identity as Indians. People of India are Indians first. All other identities come later. Underlying the spirit of unity in diversity determines our identity as Indians. It is also an integral part of our heritage. The history of diversity. In the past, India was a very rich country. People from different parts of the world came to India to control its wealth. Gradually, they settled down and mingled with people living here. Kinds of diversity. India is a land of enormous physical diversity. There are the lofty Himalayas, fertile plains, the Deccan Plateau, vast coastal areas, the arid Thar Desert, and many other landforms. The existence of India as a nation depends on the interrelation of different regions and their dependence on one another. Rice and wheat, the staple food of the country, is grown in the fertile plains. The mountains are a source of many rivers. Coastal areas provide fish. The Deccan Plateau grows cotton and is also a storehouse of essential minerals. A person living in Delhi will get coconut grown in the coastal areas, while a person living in the coastal areas will eat rice grown in the northern plains, only because the different regions of the country are connected to each other. The diversity in physical features adds a lot of variety to our culture as well. While women living in the cold climate of Kashmir wear woolen pirans, a woman living in the hot and humid Bengal prefers wearing a cotton sari. Bhangra and Gidda are popular dance forms of the vibrant and energetic people of Punjab. The Assamese like matching their steps to the subtle and artistic dance form Bihu. Religious diversity. India is a secular country. This means that people of India have the right to follow any religion of their choice and celebrate their religious festivals. Religious communities such as Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, Christians, Jains, Parsis, Jews and Buddhists consider India their home and live in peace and harmony. The government of the country treats people of all religions alike without any kind of discrimination. Linguistic and regional diversity. People of India speak different languages and dialects and use different scripts. The 8th schedule of the Indian Constitution recognizes 22 languages. Hindi is the primary official language, while English is the secondary official language. The government encourages every state to develop its language and culture. Unity in diversity. In spite of all the differences, people living in India are Indians first. This unity has been a part of our history. People from all regions, religions and languages had come together to participate in our struggle for freedom. Some of our famous leaders such as Mahatma Gandhi, Subhash Chandra Bose, Lala Lajpat Rai and Bal Gangadhar Tilak came from diverse backgrounds. The freedom fighters were inspired by a single vision, that of a new and united India. When India became independent, the leaders ensured that the unity in diversity stays preserved. Today, this unity in diversity is intertwined with the very identity of India. The Indian Army, the Indian Civil Service, the national cricket, football and other sports teams, the popular movie industry, the diversity is apparent everywhere. As future citizens of our country, it is important that we not only understand and appreciate but also help in upholding the unique spirit of unity in diversity of our country. We should be proud of our diversity and resist those selfish interests that want to create a divide among Indians on religious, regional, or any other ground. No religion or region is better than the other. All of them are unique and equally important for our rich heritage. When each of us will realize that our identity as Indians comes before all our other identities, we can become the true citizens of our country. Prejudice. Any unfavorable opinion that is formed without knowing the actual facts is called a prejudice. Prejudice affects our behavior towards a person. Based on a prejudice, we may become unnecessarily unfair and rude to somebody. This unfair treatment of people on the basis of prejudice is called discrimination. Look at the following statements. People in the cities lead a very comfortable life. They are lazy and do not want to work hard. People in the villages are superstitious and backward. They are against any kind of development. All uneducated people are rude. We should not mix with people who are very different from us. The above statements are examples of prejudice. Sometimes our prejudices stem from one particular incident or person, and we develop unfounded negative views about people. Prejudice is a very unhealthy attitude. We should get rid of all kinds of prejudices and try to judge people only after interacting with them personally and positively. Kinds of prejudice. Gender. Women face a lot of prejudice at home and sometimes even at the workplace. On the basis of such prejudice, they are subjected to discrimination. Even today, in many parts of the world, women are not treated at par with men. In many places, they are still considered solely as homemakers and are denied right to education. In some places, there are rigid rules on what women can or cannot do, severe restrictions on the activities that women can do even today. They are not allowed to go out of the house or mix with people freely. Very often employed women get paid much less than their male counterparts for the same amount of work done. Religious. Sometimes people belonging to a particular religion consider others to be inferior. They try to impose their thoughts and views on them. This is called religious prejudice. This often leads to violence and extreme hatred. Race or region or caste. Prejudices based on region, race and caste, etc. are deep-rooted. People of the so-called superior castes consider people belonging to the other classes inferior to them. Such an attitude leads to a lot of discrimination. The unprivileged class is not allowed to mix up with the so-called superior class. An extreme form of discrimination is untouchability. Similarly, some people consider their own region superior to the rest of the country. There are still others who think that they are racially superior than the rest of the population and try to dominate others. All such notions often lead to violent conflicts and acrimony among people belonging to different communities. Stereotypes. Sometimes we assign some qualities to a group of people, thereby forming a particular image of them. This image or belief about a person or a group of people based on the idea that everyone in that particular group will look or act in the same way is called stereotype. Let us look at some examples of stereotyping. Little Rohan fell down and started crying. His mother picked him up and consoled him by saying that boys don't cry. No, beta, don't cry. Are you a girl? Boys do not cry. Rishi wants to learn Bharatnatyam along with his sister. but his father disagrees. When Paleolithic Age is also known as the Old Stone Age, this vast period has been divided by historians into Lower, Middle, and Upper Paleolithic Ages. Throughout the Paleolithic Age, the early humans led a nomadic life. They were food gatherers and hunters who moved from one place to another in search of food and shelter. They ate raw meat, wild fruits and vegetables. During the winter season, they used animal skin, bark of trees, and leaves to keep themselves warm. The earliest tools were made in the Paleolithic Age. At the first stage, pieces of stones were used as tools. Later, different types of crude stone tools to meet different needs were made. Flint, a type of stone, was widely used to make tools and weapons as it could be easily shaped into different forms. Both large and small pieces of stones were used to make tools and weapons. Axe leads, hammers and choppers were made from larger stone pieces. The axe lead was tied to a stick that made it convenient to use. Knives and scrapers were made from smaller pieces of stone. Some stones were given a sharp point and tied to arrows and spears. They were very helpful in hunting animals from a distance. Remains of bones, horns and tusks of animals such as the wild dogs and elephant, some with weapons embedded in them, suggest that those animals were hunted. Pits were sometimes dug and covered with leaves and twigs to trap large animals. While rubbing two pieces of stone or wood together, they might have accidentally discovered how to light a fire. Fire was a major discovery of this age. Early humans kept a fire burning at the entrance of his cave to prevent the wild animals. Gradually, the practice of eating cooked food was started. Children who are special. Some children are special because they are differently abled. They might move around in a wheelchair or with the help of crutches, or they might need hearing aid to hear properly. Some children are not able to see, while some others cannot read or write fluently like their friends. Special children need our special care and attention. They need love, respect, and acceptance by others. We should neither take pity on them, nor make fun of them. It is important that differently abled children do not face discrimination. Till recently, regular schools did not admit children with special needs, so they had to attend special schools meant for them. But now, there are many inclusive schools where children with special needs get the opportunity to study together with other children, so that they may not feel that they belong to any separate category. Equality in the Constitution. The framers of the Indian Constitution, led by the chairman of the drafting committee, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, envisioned that all Indians should get equal rights and opportunities and be considered equal. The Constitution gives equal rights to men and women and does not allow any discrimination on the basis of religion, race, caste, sex, or place of birth. Only for some sections of the society which have been traditionally denied rights to education, the Constitution has made some special provisions called reservation, so that they can work at par with the rest of the people in the society. Women and people belonging to the so-called lower classes have certain number of seats reserved for them in government educational institutions and offices. Moreover, to ensure equality and justice, the Constitution has granted every citizen of India certain basic rights, irrespective of their differences in terms of caste, creed, sex, race, and religion. These are called the fundamental rights. The preamble to the Constitution of India truly reflects Dr. B.R. Ambedkar's vision of a secular India free from caste and communal biases.